Hello friends, Dr. Solano here from Regen Osteo. Today we're going to talk a little bit about neuropathy. And neuropathy is a very debilitating problem that happens to tens of millions of Americans all over the country and people all over the world. And it can happen for a number of reasons. There's not a lot of research about if it's a genetic thing, if your mom and dad or grandparents had it. There has to be some component there perhaps, but we're all made differently. It could be a result of chemo and radiation. When you're trying to go after cancer, one of the sad side effects is that it can affect peripheral nerves. So peripheral nerves, think about it like an electrical wire. We all know what an electrical wire is. And the insulation, in this case the red plastic around the wire, is in your body called myelin. So the copper on the inside is the nerve in your hands and your feet, and then on the outside of those nerves there's something called myelin. It's a fatty tissue. It does not have direct blood supply. The nerves have direct blood supply, but in a lot of cases with neuropathy, people's circulation is poor in their hands and your feet, and as a result, then if the nerves don't get direct blood supply, then they tend to suffer. And if you say, hey, it feels like I'm walking on glass, and you look around and there's no glass, why are your feet lying to you? And that's kind of the big problem with neuropathy, is that your feet are telling you something. I can't feel the ground. It feels like I'm walking on hot coals. It feels like I'm walking on glass. Balance is affected, all those things. But if you look around, there's no hot coals, there's no glass. So your feet are sending a message back to your brain, and there's a call and an answer. So think of it this way. Your brain says, wiggle your toes. Goes down, and that's the motor control, right? So that signal is going through fine, but the one that's bouncing back, the answer coming back to your brain, it's telling you wrong information because there's no glass, there's no hot coals. And so that's because those peripheral nerves, the myelin around the peripheral nerve, is damaged. So here's an example of the wire with the outer covering, the insulation, or in your case, myelin, is broken, it's cracked, and the nerve signals are being sent back to your brain from sensory nerve endings, whether it's cold, hot, sharp, pain, whatever, incorrectly. And your brain is just receiving that message, and it's coming from a nerve that says, hey, this is painful, even though there's no glass on the ground. And so that's the problem with neuropathy, is that the covering around the outside of the nerves, the fatty tissue called myelin, is getting cracked and broken and separating and maybe dying in some cases, and the messages that are being sent back to your brain are incorrect.